Between 1866 and 1935, Remington turned out roughly 153,800 of their Model 95 Derringers, though most folks just called them the Remington Double Derringer. This particular No. 2 model, made sometime between 1888 and 1911, measured a hair under 5 inches with a pair of stacked 3-inch barrels. That compact .41 rimfire made it perfect for hiding in a vest pocket or boot top, which mattered plenty in the card rooms and rough establishments scattered across the frontier. Back in the 1860s, Nevada miner and rancher George A. Whitney put it plain in a letter to his brother. "We carry our 6 guns and derringers on account of the cheats and thieves." While most frontiersmen of that era preferred their big-bore revolvers and sometimes poked fun at these little pocket guns, plenty of them still tucked one away for that extra bit of insurance. The frontier saw its share of small pocket pistols, both single-shot and multi-barrel types, but none caught on quite like Remington's .41 rimfire short Model 95. Folks simply knew it as the Remington Double Derringer, or sometimes the Over and Under. A dentist named William H. Elliott, who'd switched trades to gun designing and earned himself more than 130 firearms patents in the late 1800s, came up with this little 2-shooter. He got his patent on December 12, 1865. Those first guns were stamped with the maker's name, E. Remington and Sons out of Ilion, New York, along with the patent date. Elliott himself tried selling the first small batch of fewer than 100, calling it his double repeater, but that venture didn't pan out. After that failed attempt, Remington took over production for the next 69 years. The gun's straightforward design and solid build help explain why Remington made over 153,000 of these over and unders by 1935. Working it was easy enough. The firing pin switched automatically from one barrel to the other when you cocked the hammer. Remington's loading instructions, printed right inside the box lid, told you to swing the locking lever forward until it lined up with the barrels, then tip the muzzles up until the chambers opened wide enough to push out spent shells and load fresh ones. After loading, you'd press the barrels back down and return the locking lever to where it started. Remington made 2,000 of the 3-inch barrel models before adding a manual extractor to the left side of the barrel assembly. From that point on, the gun stayed pretty much the same, aside from some marking changes and small cosmetic touches that didn't change how it looked overall. From 1866 to 1888, the guns carried the E. Remington and Sons marking from Ilion, New York. Collectors call these the Model No. 1, and Remington made about 16,100 of them. Between 1888 and 1911, they stamped around 80,000 Model No. 2s with Remington Arms Company, Ilion, New York. From 1912 to 1935, roughly 55,000 Model No. 3 pistols came off the line, marked Remington Arms, UMC Co., Ilion, New York, though you'll find some variation in how the UMC stamp appears. Union Metallic Cartridge had merged with Remington in 1912, which explains the marking change. Finally, from around 1930 through the end of production, they made about 500 Model 4s. For most of the Model 95's production run, Remington finished them in blue, nickel, or a mix of both. The Model 4 wore a flat blue-gray coating instead. The grips were typically walnut, rosewood, or checkered hard rubber, though you could get pearl or ivory if you wanted to spend extra. Serial numbers can get confusing since some run in sequence while others come in batches. Remington's numbering system was never what you'd call consistent. Whether tucked away by a card sharp in the 1800s, carried by a lawman as backup, hidden in a working girl's skirts, Remington's Model 95 became the Derringer everyone pictures when they think of the Old West.